Hello, my name is Brittany D. I am a psychic medium and spiritual teacher. My divine purpose is to assist in the expansion of the collective consciousness and to help you become more connected with the divine. This is a space to remember all that you truly are and ignite the possibilities of your highest potential. Hello, 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 and thank you for being present with me here in this now moment. So this week, I feel like it's appropriate to tell the story of my coronation, my crowning, my self-crowning. Oh, such a beautiful experience. And the reason I feel called to talk about this is because I'm currently running a program, or the cart just opened. The waitlist pricing is actually the last day of it is going to be, waitlist pricing ends on Tuesday, let me check the calendar here, the 2nd. And so that's the day that if you're one of my listeners that keeps up every week on Tuesdays, today's your last day to get the waitlist pricing, but you are welcome to sign up after that as well. It is application only. And the Empowered Empress is 80 days of transforming into true empowerment, moving into confidence and being grounded, that feminine and masculine balance and communication in an empowered way, and making empowered decisions and choices for yourself and rippling that out to all of those around you naturally and organically. This is for the woman who is really ready to just be in her fire. It is a mastermind. It is a combination between a course and mastermind calls. So you will have a course to lead you along through this, as well as my individual instruction within the group calls. So this is a really, truly divine space that's being created here. And I'm loving the women that are signing up so far. It's beautiful. This is going to be a really powerful portal. And it's my longest offering so far. It's 80 days of transformation, because that's what it really takes to step into your power. It takes some time to really start to integrate making those decisions and in moving in that way of true confidence and power. So if that interests you at all, I'm going to drop the link below, but I wanted to share my story of when I put the queen crown on. This beautiful divine experience. So I was in the mountains of Mount Shasta, California, and I went to this women's retreat. And it was with a teacher that I was working with really deeply at that time. And I didn't really know what really was going to happen at the retreat or what was going on at the retreat. She called it the Rainbow Rose Sisters Retreat. And I kind of knew that, like we're going to do healing work and whatnot, but I didn't really know. I just knew that I needed to be there. That's all I knew. Source was like, you need to be there. And I always trust. Spirit is guiding me. I know it's in my highest and my best. And so I go to this retreat, and as we're doing different activities and classes and different things throughout the retreat, the facilitator, her name is Jen McCarty. She was bringing us through these meditative visual experiences. And we were moving around to different sacred sites, Session Rock, Mount Shasta, different places around the Stewart Springs. And at each place, we would get another color of the rose, the rainbow rose crown, and we would sew it onto our crown. We would tie it onto our crown. at one location we would get the purple rose, and then at another location we would be crowned with the red rose, and so on and so forth. And I honestly, just being totally transparent, I didn't really know what was happening. I didn't really know exactly what we were doing. I was just like, I'm down, I'm meditating. Like I'm all about visualizations. Any of my private clients or anyone that works with me at all knows that my imagination is vast, and visualizations are really transformational. They can really, really transform your life. And that is definitely one of my, it's my medicine. And it's also how I help my clients. And so, we're doing these exercises, and I don't really know what we're doing. She's just walking us through it. And, I go through whatever the visualization is, and then I find my rose and I tie it to the crown. And then, I'm adding two. And then the very last day, we were in our last meditation. A beautiful scene. We're in the mountains. We're standing in this gazebo. In the center of the gazebo is the Vesica Pisces. The Vesica Pisces is a symbol of the divine feminine and divine masculine balance, and that union of God. That balance, that union of God in the middle. And the water is rushing by us, and there's these just huge trees. If you've ever been up north, Northern California, everything is massive. The trees are massive. The pine cones are massive. And it's just this energy was building in this beautiful, beautiful space. And she leads us through the final meditation. And now, like I said, as we move to all of these different locations throughout Shasta, off the property and on the property, I'm just following directions. I didn't really know what was happening. I didn't even really do that much research about the retreat. I just knew I needed to be there. And so we're standing in a circle with our sisters holding hands, and there's the Vesica Pisces in the center. The water's rushing, and the trees are surrounding us, and we're standing under this gazebo, and it's just beautiful divine love, just a sea of infinite open hearts, grace, love, purity. And she's, leading us through this meditation, this visualization. And as she gets to the part where we bring the crown in our hands, it's in our hands before us with all of the roses on it. I'm just standing there, and, I'm imagining that I'm holding this crown that I have been weaving over these days. And the next thing you know, I am not in my body anymore. I'm actually standing in a big white open space. And I feel this being right below me. Like I just needed to look down, and I looked down, and it was me. It was my inner child. She was about, I would say, 4 or 5 years old. And she's reaching with her hands up and clasping her hands, like a baby when they're reaching for something and they want something, and they open their hands and then they close their hands, and they do it over and over again quickly because they're trying to reach up for something. And, in that moment, although in the meditation, she was leading us, having the crown in her hands, in that moment, once I'd made it into that massive white space that's just pure, I didn't realize that I had the crown in my hands. And so when I looked down at her, and she's clasping and reaching, her hands are up by her ears, and she's got her hands reached over her head, and she's grabbing for whatever's in my hands. And I look down, and I'm like, oh, the crown. You want the crown? And so I hand her the crown, and she puts it on her head, and she's got both of her hands holding it on each side of her hand. And she starts dancing and spinning, and she is just in bliss. She's in just joy. She's so happy and so proud that I finally returned her crown. She became the queen that she always was. The crown returned to her head, and her dress is spinning, it's frilling, and it's out and open, and she's just dancing and in so much joy. And tears start pouring down my face. They're pouring down my face. I didn't know. I'm bawling my eyes out, standing in this circle, just crying and crying, because it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Ever. To see my baby girl crowning herself, and in such joy, she's just dancing and her skirt is twirling. It was such a beautiful scene. And then as soon as I really felt the water on my face, there was enough water on my face that I realized that I was crying. I was instantly brought back into my body. And I realized that I was in that circle with the women in the gazebo with the water rushing and the trees surrounding us. And then I just grasped the hands of the two women next to me so tightly. And I just poured, crying. It was tears of joy. It was so amazing. And I'm just crying. And I knew in that moment, I did it. I finally did it. I've been working so hard all of these years, doing all of this work to truly crown myself, to feel like a queen that I am again. And I knew in that moment, I knew it had happened. It had finally happened. And you know, as we left the circle and we walked back in silence, and we actually stopped and hung out with trees and the leaves and nature. And then whenever we recollected in circle in the communal room, you know, we were sharing our experiences. And as I was sharing my experience, Jen, the facilitator, the one hosting the retreat, she said, I knew what happened with you was so powerful. She was like, it was out of this world powerful, you know, because she was the facilitator in between. So she was holding space for my experience there really deeply. And she was just like, she was right. At that time, she was like, you have no idea how powerful this is, what you just did. And I didn't at that time. I had no idea. But then, you know, the months and the years following, I just really and truly stepped into my queen status, my true power, my confidence, my sovereignty, my wholeness, my centeredness, my beingness and presence and acceptance and love and fullness. And it was just such a divine gift. It was such a divine gift. And life has just been so powerful since this point. It's incredible work to truly do what's needed within your being in order to step into your goddess essence, into your queen power. And it changes your life. It changes everything around you, because no one is going to treat you or respect you as the goddess that you truly are if you are not first doing it yourself. And this takes intentional work. It takes intentional tools and support in order to do so. And so I'm just extremely grateful to not only have gone through my work and my experience myself to truly become the goddess that I always was at my core, but now I am in a position where I can assist and ignite and hold space and know the tools and what's needed in order to assist someone else to step into their true goddess essence. And so I'm very excited. It's really beautiful for me to share this story. Actually, I haven't shared it. I made a post about it when it first happened, but I haven't shared it in a long time with anyone. So it's really beautiful to share this. And also, I'm very excited for this program. It's 80 days of transformation. And this is the longest program that I have been guided to facilitate. So I'm excited for this transformation. And it's such an honor, the women that have chosen to step into their power and step into this path. And I hope that you join us. It would be such a great honor to assist you in this expansion of your experience, your evolution, your soul's evolution, of really putting that crown on and being the goddess that you truly are. I would love for you to join us. And I'm going to drop a link below so you can get some more information on that. And I hope that you enjoyed my story about my coronation. Thank you so much for being all that you are. And I am honored to be here with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed that episode. Please subscribe, leave a review, and if this was impactful for you at all, please share it with others. This is how we can help each other. Much love and namaste.